dose. And what we found is 2.5 actually produced ketones, but not as high enough. And we didn't get consistent benefit. So when we look at the 5.5, we showed consistent benefit in cognition. So we think about the ketones like blood glucose. You need a certain threshold to have optimal benefit. And once you hit that optimal, that effective dose or level in the blood, the body can benefit. But if you drop below that, your body cannot get maximal help. And to me now, the MCT actually, if you look at what I study with CDS, because the CDS dog need more energy supply, energy help, so we actually increase MCT even further to further enhance ketones. We still show the benefit. So that means, more ketones can be beneficial for more severe brain atrophy case than normal case.
So more ketones can be better, but too much ketones can be detrimental. You want to address that?
Yes, but too much ketone can cause ketoacidosis. But with nutrition, we never reach that kind of level. Okay. We actually within the micromole range compared with millimole that cause a problem.
Okay, so the ketones that are problems like in diabetes or so forth,
right.
That's a much higher level.
That's a much higher level, yeah.
Okay.
So our stuff is much safer and never reached that level in the study.
Okay. Are dogs different from people in terms of ketone metabolism?
Well, it seems based on literature, dog actually can clear the ketone more faster than humans. So basically, dog maybe can utilize ketone more efficient. But the interesting when you look at the fasting, the human fasting actually increase ketone even more than dogs. Okay. But dog actually keep a lower level, but it's still effective for the dog. Could be the organ actually kind of utilize ketone much faster than the humans.
Okay. We've been talking about aging dogs. Can the MCTs be beneficial in young dogs? Does it, can 2 or 3 year old or puppy? Is there a benefit there?
I think so, because I think we need to change our concept about energy metabolism in the body. Because right now, if you look at the concept all about glucose, glucose may be an energy source, but ketone can be another energy source, not naturally. So I think even we give to young animals, the ketone still can support the energy for different organs, for the brain, for the heart, and for the kidney, and for muscle. I think it still can benefit. Okay. We need to change our philosophy. It cannot be said all glucose. It should be a combination of both ketone and glucose together, giving the maximum best energy supply. They actually went to a meeting. They actually showed that for heart to have optimal function, you need 3 energy sources. You need the glucose, you need the ketone, you need the fatty acid. So you can see that not only for brain, for the other organs, you cannot have just glucose. You need the ketone and the fatty acids to support the best functions.
Okay. And after exercise, there's yet another energy source, right? Because there's lactate.
Right.
And is that maybe why exercise is good for the brain, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, that's entirely possible. I mean, dogs can turn that lactate over a lot more effectively than people can. Among other things, they kind of function a little bit differently. But yes, lactate is an important nutrient source within the brain tissue.
Okay.
More questions?
Yeah. We have another one here, but we sort of addressed it earlier, so I'm going to move on. Okay. Brian, were there any personal pets that have affected your research or colleagues' pets, yours or colleagues, that have inspired you or inspired your research in any way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, actually, I would say that before I came to Purina, I had 3 little furry babies, and 2 of them were Yorkies, and one of them was Baxter, who's my lab. And those 3, I came here with the vision that whatever I did, I was going to try to implement it for them. And in fact, actually, before we launched the MCT diet, of course, Gary and I had access to the extra food that came out of the pilot plant. And we would always try to, whenever possible, use some of our test diets on our own pets just to be able to see the direct observation. And Baxter, of course, my little ones weren't here with me at the time, but with Baxter, I continued to feed him, and between that and feeding like to the recommendations of the longevity study, he lived to 16 years old, and
for a Labrador, that's
for a Labrador,
impressive.
which is really good. And so, yeah, and with them coming to work with me every day, I mean, they were a constant source of inspiration. I attribute. I mean, that's why Aspen comes every day. Oh yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. They drive it every day.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. This is an interesting question. When you started researching brain health, did you have any idea of the depth of the ramifications that you would uncover and the extent of the application of your findings? Not just to dogs, but to people. Did you anticipate the benefits that you would find?
No, for me it's surprising because we start with small projects. We start build this MC technology. We start look at different blends. We didn't imagine we actually can come up with this blends which actually works in multiple species. So basically, to me, it's very surprising, but also very satisfying because we actually did something good for science, for not only for pets or for humans. I think it's very rewarding for me. After 18 years research, I actually can say, okay, I actually find a solution for you guys, but up to you to take actions to protect your brain for humans and for your pets. So
great.
And what else
Brian?
is exciting actually is because that question actually is a really good question. But what I would share is that we've really only addressed a couple of issues, and as we've been working in this area, it's made it more feasible to be able to start to ask questions about other related issues that are connected to brain function. Now, without going into any real detail on that, but it's there's a lot more to do, and the fact that we are contributing in an area of research that is cutting edge for both, not only for pets but also for what's going on in the human brain aging field is really exciting, and the fact that we're also lucky and fortunate enough to have collaborative partners that are leading in their particular fields of brain and neuroscience researches.
And that's a great segue to our next question.
Okay.
It says, in addition to making your own MCT cookies and brownies, share what the work that you guys are doing with your Nestle colleagues to bring the findings from your research to the human world.
So for me, basically, what we did, we actually provide our study data in dog and the cats and the other models to Nestle. Nestle can use this model as a preclinical data to justify human nutrition studies and also find out the dose for them. I think is and also we learn from Nestle other nutrients we can use in the future research. So it's a mutual benefit. Nestle have a lot of scientists work on the same area. We actually can look at what they test in the field. Can we use them to further enhance our nutrition solution? Because I told people this is more like an iPhone. Now this is iPhone 1. So we are continuing to work on iPhone 2, 3, 4 in the future to make this better, more robust, more effective for our pets and for humans.
So we can all eat the same food and have healthy brains.
Yeah.
That's great. Brian.
Yes.
Other than timing of meal and meal frequencies, have you looked at nutritional components that would support optimal sleep patterns and such in dogs?
We have, and that was actually a big driver of a lot of that research, was to try to investigate some of the potential nutritional approaches that we could begin to examine, particularly in older pets that had altered sleep patterns. We do have a variety of that data. Very little of it has been published yet. There hasn't been as much of a remarkable observation in terms of an effect on sleep-wake cycles as there has been in some of the cognition research.